Alright, so chat, how many of you heard about the recent announcement of a game on Xbox that is getting utterly lambasted? Okay. Let me put it this way. How many of you guys really liked Dustborn? How many of you guys really just loved Dustborn? Some of you have already gotten it. Yes, Xbox released a game called Relooted, which is about, well, you can see right here, African futurists that basically break into, I don't know where, and are stealing African artifacts from Western museums. Yeah, Rev did a story on this. I think I may have seen the Asmon clip, but I want to hear Rev say, because Rev probably has more information on it. I don't think this is going to go well for this game developer. But let's hear about it. I'm guessing Red may show like the advertisement for it, or maybe some gameplay footage. This is not going to go well. Oh, Victor, that's obvious. It is beyond fucking obvious that the developers are DEI douchebags. Yeah, oh, no kidding, it's Black Panther coded. Like, for fuck's sake, look at this character right here. This character is literally dressed like Black Panther. Right here.
What's up, guys? Rip here.
What? I accidentally hit play. This character is literally dressed like Black Panther. Hell yes, is Black Panther coded. They are all 100% trying to capitalize on that. So let's dive into this, shall we?
Hey, what's up, guys? Rip here. So today we're going to be looking at the latest example of a long line of woke failures, and unfortunately, much like its predecessors, the game Relooted is off to a really bad start. You can see its announcement trailer released recently on Xbox's official YouTube channel. It's not getting a very good reception. Only 36,000 views despite the channel having nearly 6 million subs, and also it has 600 likes versus 4,500 dislikes.
Ouch. And I guarantee you, in the majority of comments, there's going to be people saying, genius idea. Make a game about Black people stealing African artifacts. That is going to be the majority of the comments for this trailer. I will bet you anything.
We have seen this play out a million times before, where a trailer like this is getting clowned on, it's getting dislike bombed, and then what happens? Well, the game flops. Despite people, mainly activists on social media, trying to prop it up, it just isn't enough. And with Relooted, this is an example of one of these quote-unquote woke games that actually looks like it has some appealing gameplay that some people definitely would enjoy, but it's being clouded by bad optics. This is another example of bad optics completely destroying the potential reach of this game. Instead of being something that's presented as an exciting new game, it's a laughingstock. And a lot of it has to do with the description of this game. A lot of people are clowning on it on social media. You can see the description here. Reclaim real African artifacts from Western museums in this African futurist heist game. Recruit crew members, plan a...
Okay, I'm sorry, but African futurist? Does anybody know what this means? I have never heard of the expression African futurist. Perhaps I am just a dumb anime cat girl. Has anyone ever heard this expression before? And by the way, dearie Desode, Thank you for the follow over a kick. It means the person who coined is mentally deficient. Well, they're DEI, so yes. You know how they could save this somewhat, actually put historical information on those artifacts about where they're from and such? Thing is, I'm sure they'll screw that up too. Mataz, that is an excellent point. Let's see. I'm hoping that Rev shows maybe the trailer and it shows something along those lines. Maybe that's in it, perhaps. Let's find out.
Escape routes, acquire the precious cargo, and then bounce out of the joint as fast as you can. And the joke that people are making on social media is that...
Oh, and by the way, these are supposed to be Africans. Okay, these people are supposed to be from Africa, bearing in mind. Yet they're gonna put in Western colloquialisms. Recruit crew members, plan escape routes, acquire the precious cargo, all good, and bounce out of the joint as fast as you can. That is an American colloquialism, not an African one. So, good job, Diama Cup. Good job stereotyping people from Africa as being the same as black people in the United States. Brother. Chat, I'm all wet. I'm all wet, chat. Chat, you make me so wet. We're trying to focus here, and you guys are so... It's trying to just get me all... Damn. So, bravo, Devs, for basically lumping in people from Africa with inner city ghetto black people. Bravo.
Join as fast as you can. And the joke that people are making on social media is that this game is supposed to be celebrating African heritage, and it's a game that's entirely focused on stealing. That is what they're saying. They're saying, oh, look, another game that's so progressive, it is once again regressive, and coming up with something that sounds racist on its face to many different people. But let's look at the gameplay itself, because I think it's actually, again, pretty appealing.
Okay. What's this all about?
Treaties were signed, promises made and broken. Is it stealing to take back what was stolen?
Stolen? Who's stealing them?
Us.
It's time to get out of there.
Let me introduce a friend of mine. Smart, agile, and will let you look into places with the tightest security.
Like I said, I'm sure there's a market for this somewhere out there, but the way
the gameplay does look a little interesting. It does. It's... Hang on. Let's see. So you got markers of alarm bells. So you got to plan out how you're going to do this. It looks like it could... Like, the gameplay looks like it could be interesting. Yeah, okay, let's continue.
Like I said, I'm sure there's a market for this somewhere out there, but the way the game is being packaged and the way it's being judged... And look, some people say, hey, it's not fair to judge this game. You don't know exactly what it's all about. Unfortunately, again, optics are everything. People have labeled this game as woke. They look at the character designs. They look at the sort of message being made here, and they're already dismissing it. And really, you ask yourself, what kind of audience is this for? What is the target audience? Because it doesn't seem like it's super clear to those making this. And also, do we expect Sweet Baby Inc. in the final credits?
Of course.
I'm saying it's like a 50-50 chance at this point. And on top of that, I think there's an important question for this game and its plot? Like, what are they going to do with the artifacts once they get them back? Like, what's the game plan there? Because I think it's pretty important if they're trying to prop up this message that has become very controversial already for this game. However, despite these questions and all of the ridicule on social media, a lot of journalists have been lining up to promote this game. You can see PC.
Okay. So I'm gonna say this. Okay. How can I put this? So if this is a game where you are stealing from museums, yeah, and Naga, that's where I'm going with this, because it's saying that it's from Western collections. Now, if this is a museum that they're stealing it from, well, that's a problem. Because museums, the purpose of them is to preserve and showcase for education. Just because it is not being done in Africa does not make it that. Because, let's be realistic here, there is a lot more museum space outside of Africa than there is within Africa. So if this is in regards to museums, that's a problem. If it's private collectors who purchase these items on, say, like a black market, if these are like black market artifacts that private individuals have purchased, that's actually the concept of a group of high-tech African thieves stealing African artifacts back from private collectors that have purchased this kind of thing on the these things on the black market. That's actually okay. I actually don't have an issue with that kind of storyline. Museums, totally different thing. Private collectors, that's actually okay. That's from a game concept. That's actually I don't actually have a problem with that that story conceptually. It actually makes sense that you would want to for in this game they've acquired these items through illicit means and they're trying to get it back. Sure, I absolutely buy that. Yeah, and Falcon, I was getting into there. Really? And yeah, Falcon, I was gonna get into that. And it's like, that's why if it's like museums, Falcon, like you said, most artifacts that end up in museums in the West are done so because when they are transferred from their native country to these Western museums, it's because if they remained in their native countries, they would very likely get destroyed. Look what is happening with like the Taliban in the Middle East. The Taliban and ISIS, they have literally destroyed centuries-old artifacts or structures just because. So that's why, like with museums, there's a problem. The other issue is, like what Rab said, is these characters, okay, they are stealing from private collectors. Where the fuck are they going to take these things to? Are they going to return them back to the African nations where there is no museum? Because let's be flat the fuck out honest here. Africa, if they have museums in Africa, they're probably quite small in nature. And there's not a lot of space to display artifacts and not have them destroyed. So they're honestly going to be much safer in Western museums, either in Europe or in the North America. So maybe we'll get into this about who they're stealing from. But again, private collectors, I'm actually okay with that concept. That's actually not a bad storyline, honestly.
Gamer saying Relooted is a heist game about reclaiming pieces of African heritage from Western collections. you see two massive generalizations here that could be an issue. Western collections and African heritage. So in this game, it seems pretty clear that anything coming out of any African nation is under this African heritage label or African artifacts, whatever they use interchangeably. And it just seems odd to lump in every nation, all of their history and heritage under one umbrella, you know, given how things have transpired differently across different African nations. Like you're comparing artifacts from Egypt to, let's say, the Congo. How's that going to play out? But you can see other journalists using some buzzwords saying rescue African artifacts from colonizers' museums.
Okay, now we have a problem. Now we got a fucking problem. If it is museums, fuck you. Okay? Fuck you. The museum's entire purpose is to preserve and maintain these centuries-old artifacts to be appreciated and to be educated on. So yeah, if they're breaking into museums, fuck you. Okay? I would have been on board if it was, okay, this billionaire private collector has got a Zulu mask in their private collection that they bought on the black market. We're going to steal it back. I'd be on board with that. I would absolutely be okay and on board with that concept. You're taking it from a museum. Museums are doing this to preserve and to educate. They're not doing it because they are evil colonizers. Okay? Yeah, like private collections, cool. Museums, fuck you. And yes, I know colonizers is a Twitter insult, which gained fucking steam with the Black Panther movie. On it, let's be realistic. The whole colonizer concept reclaimed steam because they used that in the Black Panther when talking to the singular white guy in the movie that was part of the CIA. They constantly referred to him as a colonizer. They basically racially slurred him throughout the entirety of the fucking movie. So that's why that racial, and that's a slur, okay? It's actually a racial slur. To call someone a colonizer in that context, that's a slur. Let's not fuck with it. So yeah, they're basically they're using a slur against white people, but it's against white people. So it's totally fine, right, strays? Totally fine if you use a racial slur against the white person, because white people can't be offended by this anymore, can they? And gray matter, no, I realized it means before that. I said it picked up steam because of the Black Panther movie. Not that it was invented by it, but it picked up steam.
In Heist Game Relooted, of course, we're going to see colonizer used a lot to describe what's going on in this game. And also, can I ask a question? How do these people afford golden check marks? Like, who is this with zero interaction as a games journalism outlet? And these things cost $1,000 a month to have. Like, how do they do it? Including
tax write-off. Guarantee you. Gold checkmark like this is a tax write-off for these businesses. They will put it on their taxes. Just like I am going to put my blue checkmark, my blue checkmark on my taxes. That will be a tax write-off for me because I can quantify it as being a promotional expense for my stream. That's how they can afford to put the gold checkmark on there, is they'll just write it off.
And these things cost $1,000 a month to have. Like, how do they do it? Including even GameSpot. I don't even know how GameSpot does it, let alone a company like that. But here's their description. Relooted is like a reverse Indiana Jones. Ah, yes. Because everyone saw Indiana Jones as a concept and said, hey, you know what would be better than that? Just doing it in reverse. Which has unintended consequences, I'm sure.
So, wait. So, Indiana Jones's line is, it belongs in a museum. What's their line? It belongs with the people? Where are you going to put it? Ed, where are you going to put it? I'd love to know. Although this is futurist Africans, so my guess is that Jesus fuck. Boule? Fuck you. Fuck you for that, Boule. Jesus fuck. I didn't even see it. I heard the screaming in my headphones. Jesus. Holy fuck. Okay, well, YouTube, I hope that woke you up if you were falling asleep. Okay. As I was saying before I nearly jumped out of my own skin, my guess is this game is going to paint Africa as being a high-tech wonderland a la Wakanda, and that they have this wonderful high-tech museum just waiting for all of these artifacts to be deposited in. That is my guess. They're definitely going to be going full Wakanda on this one.
Sure for them, because if you're reversing everything going on in Indiana Jones, who's the bad guy then? I don't know if that really plays out too well. But of course, we have to ask ourselves, who is behind this game and what's their history? What do they have to bring to the table? Well, it's not a whole lot so far. And it's, again, it's pointing all of the signals in the same direction as many different games like Concord or Dustborn that have failed with a similar sort of...
Wait. This company is based out of, and I know some of you guys said this. This company is based in Johannesburg, in South Africa. I have a question. Doesn't practically the entire continent of Africa hate South Africa right now? Am I wrong about this? The last word I heard is that basically all of Africa kind of hates the people in South Africa because of racial problems. Because South Africa is, to my knowledge, this may have changed, I don't know, the predominant South Afrikaners are white. Is there more of a mixture of ethnicities in South Africa right now? Like, has that changed? I'm unaware. That's why I'm asking. Okay, so yeah, so right now, okay, so there's become more of a blended populace in South Africa than when I knew about it. Okay. Obviously, I've not kept up on this, so the last I heard it was not. Okay. Because I know, South Africa is having some really bad fucking problems right now. So, I have to, so, the fact that this is coming out of South Africa now, from these devs, is not great. This right here is going to turn a lot of people in the West away from buying this product. A lot of people, because of what is happening in that region right now. They're doing a game about Africans stealing from quote unquote colonizers when all of this shit is happening in South Africa right now. You take those two concepts, that's going to kill this game. It's going to absolutely kill this game.
Of build up like this game is having. So this game is being developed by Nyamakop, which is a South African based company. And if you go to their main page, they haven't even updated their unannounced title yet. Like, they got a major feature from Xbox, and they still haven't gone back to their very simple web page.
David, I'm sorry. It would be absolutely wonderful if there could be peace and harmony. Unfortunately, we are living in times of extreme polarization, And I am not a smart enough individual to think of a solution to fix it, if there's even a fixable problem. It's just, unfortunately, you have a lot of very bad people in positions of power and authority, and they are abusing that, and in some of the worst ways imaginable. And that spreads. And it sucks. It sucks for people like you that it's basically sullying your homeland. And I really fucking hate it. And it took me up. Basically, yes. Yes, it is. Colonizer is it's not exactly new. Again, colonizer is not exactly a new slur for white people, but ever since the first Black Panther movie, it has gained traction in its usage, and its usage has been on the rise substantially since the first Black Panther movie. And now we're seeing it even further.
And updated, the first thing you see is our unannounced title. Like, update this, please. It's public news for like 2 days already. And then you see the second part of this, which is the only other thing you see on the main page of the website, Semblance. So they create a game called Semblance. Now, how did that game go? Does that give us any sort of faith towards Relooted? Not much, with 0 in-game players. Now, to be fair, this game came out in 2018, so to have 0, it's not too telling. It's just kind of a number you're seeing right now.
It's almost 10 years old.
Make no mistake about it, this game is not active whatsoever, and it never was active. You look back at the overall history, and the peak player count was 63.
Okay, that's telling. That is telling. That its peak was 63. Yeah. So this was a shit game. If that was its peak in 2021, 3 years after launch, and it peaked at 63, this was a shit game.
They didn't have much success. I don't think that's mean. I don't think that's an exaggeration. They just did not have a stunning set of results for their first game, because again, Relooted is only their second game. Now, looking at this, it's very confusing because they say, building on our success with Semblance, Nyamaka has grown to 30 people working on our next project, which we now know is, of course, Relooted. So they had a game that peaked at 63 players, currently has 0, and they decided to grow their team to 30 people, which is a pretty sizable team for a smaller studio like this. And again, just like...
Wait. Let's read the top, up here. Founded in 2016, we've been labeled one of the most promising studios in African game development by Polygon. Our debut title, Semblance, was launched in 2018 and became the first African-developed IP to launch on any Nintendo console ever, and is currently ranked in the top 100 best PC games of 2018, according to Metacritic. Really? It's ranked in top 100 best PC games of 2018. Okay, number 1, X to Doubt. Number 2, 2018 was not exactly a big year for PC games, was it? I cannot recall there being any meteoric rising of games occurring in 2018. Yeah, like, I don't know how it can be top 100 with less than 70 total players. By the way, and that was 70 total was less than 70 players in 2021. Leave us not forget that. The number, look, based on the chart, actually, hang up. In 2018, Come on, you. In 2018, it looks like it peaked. It peaked at launch and crashed. It peaked at launch with maybe 30 players. Yeah. 36 players at launch was its peak in 2018. And after that, it crashed into single fucking digits for 3 years. Until we hit the 2021 and it maxed out at 63. So I am 100% calling bullshit on this as being ranked in the top 100 best PC games. Bullshit. When you had a 1-day peak of 36 or 38 and then crashed to single digits afterwards, no fucking shot. Absolutely no fucking shot. These guys are getting subsidized. These guys got subsidized by something. Okay? There's some fucking DEI centric, grant company or something subsidize them to make this game. I will guarantee you that was the case because there's no fucking shot building out of success. You didn't have success. Your game flopped hard. Yeah, I mean, Jesus fuck. I mean, to showcase another. Oh, come on, you. Yeah, to showcase another game, we'll do Odyssey. Come on. Oh, for fuck's metadata. No, I don't need. Okay. There we go. Fuck, that's not what I wanted. God damn it. Where's the Steam charts? There we go. Yeah. To showcase Elite, even at, look at Elite. Even at release, it was still in the thousands. And it has continued to remain in the thousands. Then is Elite Dangerous. 10-plus-year-old game. Okay, this is a 10-plus-year-old game. And they drop down to single digits after launch. Okay? So yeah, I am 100% calling bullshit on all of this. 100% bullshit on all of this.
Every other woke failure in the past couple of years, what's the first thing they say about themselves? Well, of course, they say their games are made by a diverse and inclusive team.
Bullshit. No, I'm sorry, it's bullshit. They're in Africa. Chances are, this is a guess. But I'm guessing their entire team are black. They probably do not have any white people on the team at all, even up to and including when they grew it to 30 people. I guarantee you they were all black, which is fine because they're in Africa. It actually makes perfect fucking sense. You're in Africa. How the fuck can you have a diverse and inclusive team when you're in Africa? And chances are your entire team is black. Trying to this is wanting this is wanting their cake and eating it too. They have to pick one. Yeah, exactly, Magnus. They gotta pick one. Because you cannot say you're diverse and inclusive when your team is likely all black and you're based in fucking Africa. That's like any small game dev in the US claiming they have a diverse and inclusive team because their team is all white in America. Or a UK team claiming that they have a diverse and inclusive team that is all white. It don't fucking work. They are using this for one reason and one reason only. They're trying to pander to the DEI, and chances are whoever they got their funding from told them they have to use this verbiage. Because I guarantee you, the entire studio is comprised of black developers. I will guarantee. Which again, it's based in Africa, so that's not an issue. It makes perfect sense. But don't go trying to play fuck around and say, we're diverse and inclusive. No, you're not. No, you fucking not. It's pretty widely known. And David, please feel free to correct me on this if I am wrong. But it is pretty well widely accepted that at least that the black populace of Africa is quite racist to the white populace, the fractional white populace of South Africa. Now, David, if I am incorrect on this, please tell me if I'm wrong. That is the impression I've always had. Is that there's extreme racism towards the white populace within Africa itself. And so, and towards other Africans as well, zip ties? Okay. So, who knows? Maybe they're trying to say diverse and inclusive because they have a team comprised of different Africans from throughout the continent. If they are racist towards one another. Certainly possible. Certainly possible.
Whoever have the video game development skills outside South Africa in Africa?
Yes, I have no answer for you. I'm sorry. I have no answer for you.
What does that do for me as the gamer? Right? Like, how does this appeal to me? Like, that's great. You have a diverse team. Does that make the game better? What is that going to do?
Okay, David, that's kind of the impression that I got.
Basically show itself in the game. And if you look at the diverse team, like, here they are. I don't think this is like the craziest thing anyone's ever seen.
I was not expecting this. I was not expecting this. No. Okay. So you have a mix of presumably these are all individuals who are quote unquote African, as in they are born, raised, and reside in Africa. Yeah, I'm legitimately surprised by this. I was not expecting this. Fairly good mix of people here. Mixtures of both white and black and men and women. It's hard to see because we're not seeing the full team. This is cut off here, and the words are blocking off some people here. Okay. This guy doesn't look happy. Actually, this guy and this guy. These two guys and this guy. These three guys whose faces we can actually see clearly don't look happy. They look decidedly unhappy with this group photo about their great team. And David, I hate you, but I love you. Enjoy your little Caesars. Asshole. I love you. Yeah, and this woman here, yeah, like, some of them, like, a certain group do not look oh, well, this guy doesn't look all that happy either. I'm seeing multiple unhappy faces in this photo. I can't really tell his expression because the M is blocking his mouth. There are a number of people in this photo who do not look happy. Yeah, this guy looks even more mad. And this guy doesn't look mad. This guy looks mad too. There's like a lot of unhappy looking people in this photo. Revan, I mean, that is fair. It's hard, but you would think like, okay, this is a group photo that we're going to be posting on our website to promote our team. You would think they would go, hey, everyone, say cheese. Like, smile. And there's a lot of people here there's a whole bunch of people here who do not look happy to be in this picture.
But they're riding hard on the diversity of their team, and that's what they're going for. Now, of course, this is where the majority of the mocking of this game comes from. Epic Games Store on their official account released the trailer with the headline sharing, of course, an African futurist heist game where you reclaim real African looted artifacts from Western museums. And you can see it has nearly 6 million views, 13,000 likes, but over 5,500 comments. That's not good. That is not a good ratio. When you have like a moderate number of likes and a substantial number of comments and quotes, you're getting made fun of. And if you look at some of the comments, you see this over and over and over again. This one with 48,000 likes saying, make black people game. It's about stealing. Oh my God. LMAO. Like I said.
And again, if this was like having a game about thieves it is not uncommon and it's not bad. It's a question of the target. Again, if this was strictly private owners at a purchase on the black market, I don't think anybody would have had you would have had some people give shit about it, but I honestly don't think that you would have had many people have too much of a problem. The fact that it's being taken from museums, that's where there's a problem. So, unfortunately, the developers fucked up in that respect.
People can be offended by that, but this is the comment we're seeing over and over again. It's the optics. This is the first impression people are getting, and they think it's a super progressive game that's so progressive, it's now regressive. You can see this comment. I described this game to a normal person. They thought I was setting up a minutes-long Norm Macdonald-esque racial bit. Here's another one saying, Ironheart and Relooted, made with DEI money by woke leftists. Both are about stealing things. And the caption is anti-racist getting ready to say the most racist stuff you've ever heard. And that made me kind of forget, oh man, Ironheart, right? Similar concept. Like she has the genius, but she has to steal all of the parts and the technology to make her Iron Man 2.0 suits, right? And this is getting clowned.
Which of course will be better than anything Tony Stark could have ever made. Let's not forget about that part, chat. Is that Riri Williams is better than Tony fucking Stark. Because you know they're going to be pushing that shit through the entire fucking series. I don't even know how much they pushed it in Wakanda Forever, because God knows I did not watch that shit. You know that they're going to push the fuck out of Riri Williams being so much smarter and so much better than Tony Stark ever was. Guarantee you.
On relentlessly, and there's only about 2.5 weeks until this premieres. Disney, they try to bury this one, but it's time to pay the piper. They're gonna have to let this one roll, and how well this performs, we're just gonna have to wait and see. But things aren't looking so great as of yet. Here's another one saying, and it falls to one man to stop them. I mean, this one getting 18,000 likes, and honestly, if this is the final boss or the main antagonist of the series, it just got a little more interesting, okay? Here's another one from Heel versus Babyface, just saying...
Fucking ass. Oh, we saw this coming. Oh, I should have seen this coming with Az responding to this. Yeah. He probably passed out after laughing this hard. No, Zip Ties, this is not Little Platoon. This is Az. Heel versus Babyface is Az, not Little Platoon.
Ha 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 ha. And this comment killed me. It was the first one I saw. I mean, you guys did loot it. Did he loot it? Who's we? Who's
Again, the racism. This is the colonizers thing. This is the fucking, wait, was it? Oh my god, I totally missed that it was Little Platoon. I completely missed that was dumb. I was so focused on Ben Stiller that I completely missed the fact that Little Platoon made that post. I did. I totally missed it. And yeah, this is how the DEI activists think. Is they basically, they look at what a group of people did, 100 years ago? And they will basically lay all that blame on the people of today whose parents and grandparents were not even alive when this took place. That's how the entire movement with reparations works, is the collective of people that are still to this fucking day demanding reparations are basically blaming modern day people who are not even a twinkle in their grandparents' eye yet when this shit happened. And they're saying, we're still going to blame you, even though you had nothing to do with this. Your parents had nothing to do with this. Your fucking grandparents didn't have anything to do with this. We're still going to blame you. And we're still going to accuse you and call you racist. That's how these people think. Why? Because they have nothing to stand on if they don't have this. If they don't do this, they have no moral ground to stand on. Not that the moral ground that they're trying to stand on right now isn't like fucking quicksand as is. But without it, they have nothing. Without it, if they didn't have this, they would just be flat out racist. So they're using this as sort of like an anti-racist cudgel to try and say, we're in the right, we're on the side of the righteous and you're the racists, when these guys are actually the racists. That's just how it works.
Did loot it. Did he loot it? Who's we? Who's they? What is going on? That is the issue here. We're dealing with a very complex and nuanced
That's how it goes, Balmage, it is.
Topics here, and we're trusting the average Twitter user to digest this while trying to also prop up this game, and it's turning into animosity really quickly in some regards. But anyways, Critical Drinker here saying, I wonder if the game will explore why they were preserved in museums in the first place. Nope. I can tell you. Nope,
exactly.
I don't think they're going to focus too much on that. That might not go well. Again, it's a nuanced topic. It's not as simple as Twitter or these activists will try to convince you that it is. They're just like, oh yeah, those things were stolen. They have the right to get it back. It's not exactly that simple. But
it's
then
not.
again,
they were, because they weren't stolen. Some might have been, sure. I'm not going to 100% this, but some, sure, might have been stolen. A lot of these artifacts that are currently in Western museums or European museums are there because if they had not been preserved, they would have been destroyed by their native country. Their native country would have happily just destroyed all of these artifacts and not preserve them. Because we see that in most third world countries. They have these warring factions that will destroy the shit out of their artifacts just for the fucking lulz. But people like the DEI crowd refuse to acknowledge that. Why? Because it tanks their entire fucking argument. It basically removes the legitimacy of them being racist to white people. When you point out, yeah, these artifacts were removed from their native lands because if they had remained in their native lands, they would have been destroyed and by the very people who reside there, and they would have eliminated their own history because they're being warlike and savage. In it, with the rival tribes in Africa, with the fucking terrorist factions happening in the Middle East. Were it not for people removing these artifacts and placing them in the Western world into museums to preserve the history and the knowledge of them, that would have all been fucking gone. Every one of them would have been gone, and that history would have been lost to time. But see, when you put it like that, when you actually put the factual circumstances behind it, then it removes their ability to be racist against white people. So they hold on to these lies in abject desperation so they can continue to be racist to white people. That's it. That is it. And Ancient Soul, thank you for the follow.
We're trying to explore it through Relooted, and it's become already the centerpiece of a culture war, a centerpiece of activists versus your regular gamers, and it's going to be a very ugly time, and unfortunately, it always comes back negatively on the game itself. You don't really want to be in the center of this sort of stuff when you're an average indie game. It never bodes well for them. It's just a lot of attention from people who probably aren't going to buy the game despite their support on social media. And
agreed. You're saying that a lot of artifacts and museums used to be in private collections, possibly by people who stole some in the first place? Absolutely possible. And that's why I said, actually, I'll let Rev continue, and then I will reiterate what I've been saying.
Oh, that is exactly what's happening on Blue Sky. Completely different worlds. Okay, Twitter, and I say, like, there's activists on Twitter, and they're trying to prop up the game too, but there's been a largely negative reaction on Twitter. But Blue Sky, which is the Twitter freak refugee location, they love it. This is, like, unanimously praised, although there's not much praise because there's not much activity on Blue Sky, but you can see the quotes on the official account sharing it. Can't wait to play this.
Okay.
The game we've been quietly working on for years has been announced.
Okay,
but this is all of the things I'm interested into rolled into one thing, a video game about decolonizing museums, science fiction,
fucking racist,
African futurism.
Okay. The last two posts I was fine with. The last two posts, saying, can't wait to play this? No problem. The game we've quietly been working on for years has been announced. Wish listing and sharing appreciated? No problem. I have no problem with either of those two posts. You can't wait to play it? Fantastic. You are proud of the game that you've been working on that's been announced as a dev, and this is how you post it? No problem. I can perfectly understand why, if you've been working on a game for years and it gets announced and you're excited about it, absolutely. Understandable. No issue. Decolonizing museums. So Mark Mulder's a racist. Good to know, Mark Mulder. Thank you for broadcasting that you are racist. Thank you.
This is all of the things I'm interested into rolled into one thing, a video game about decolonizing museums, science fiction, African futurism. Will play. Obviously excitement here as well.
Okay.
You have my curiosity.
Okay.
And this is like the perfect encapsulation of everything going on Blue Sky. This game is awesome because it feels deliberately crafted to anger a specific type of gamer.
Yeah. Your opinion, if it feels to what... Here's the funny thing. Because people are saying this is going to own the chuds, these dumb fucks still have yet to realize the chuds they're trying to own are the lion's share of the customer base. these people that Rain is saying that this game was deliberately made to anger, that's where the money's coming from. That's who's actually buying video games, is the very people you're celebrating are getting deliberately angered by. So, Rain, you're not helping this fucking game. You're not helping this development team by assisting in alienating the general customer base that would be purchasing the game.
I will probably get this. History tells us you're not. But this part right here, where they are saying this game was deliberately crafted to anger a specific type of gamer, probably the average gamer. But the thing is, I don't think the developers of this game made this out of spite to anger anyone. I just think its optics are being perceived in a very harsh way. And they should have been a little bit more precautious of that. But people like this are cementing it. These supporters are the potential supporters of this game. They are cementing the us versus them mentality of this entire thing, claiming...
Revan, yeah, that is probably... You're probably correct. You're probably correct that the devs... I'm going to give credit to the devs here. I don't think, based on what we've been seeing thus far about the game, I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that the devs did not make this game with social agenda in mind. They are based in Africa. They wanted to make the game based on African things, in this case, artifacts. I don't think that this game was made to try and own the chuds, so to speak. I don't think that this game was made to anger a certain sect of the gaming populace. I don't think that was the case. I think that they made a game and they wanted to basically inject their culture. They wanted to make a game that is about their African culture. And unfortunately, I think they had a very bad stumble with a part of it. And I think this is something where they should have tried to take a look at the optics during development, because this has been in development for a couple of years now. And this degree of optics is not something that just cropped up. Okay, it's not like the whole the colonizer thing and the optics of steering African artifacts from a museum, by people of Africa. This is not new. And I don't even think slated the wrong release time is even a thing, because as I said, these issues are not new. These issues have been around for many years at this point. And it would have been good for at least someone or a couple of someones in that team to look at the concept to go, okay, listen, going in this exact route is probably not the way to do it, because of the current social climate of the planet. And maybe they didn't have anyone that do this, and nobody told them, hey, this particular facet of the game is wrong. And so maybe nobody told them that this was a bad idea, and they didn't know. That's entirely... I am actually willing to do a benefit of the doubt that they did not know. Well, Kaibo, the game was in development before the goings-on in South Africa occurred. This game has been in development for years. So they started this game before all that happened. That's why I said I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt on this respect. But there is still, again, one repeat that I'm going to say at the end of the video.
On their behalf, it was deliberately crafted to anger gamers at large. And I don't know how this is going to help anyone involved with this project. We all know it's not going to. and it's going to bring just some more us versus them energy, where the one side typically doesn't buy anything they support on social media anyways. So yeah, that is Relooted for now. We will see where this goes. Will it be saved from the bowels of social media that is playing tug of war with this right now? I don't really know. Doesn't look good. Based on the history of games like this that have gone through the similar process, it almost never ends well. I can't even really think of an example of a time where it did end well for the game that is being labeled as woke with very little support to begin with like this. But anyways, that's going to do it for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
So there was honestly a fairly easy way that they could have developed this game, still holding very tightly to Africa, the concept of the preserving African culture, and not pissed off a lot of people, and not done it for like hate stuff. And again, I'm repeating this, but it needs to be said. If they develop this as a heist hit, you can keep it as a heist game. Okay, the heist concept is actually interesting. If instead of going after museums, the concept of the game is they were going after like rich businessmen or rich people that had obtained these artifacts through the black market or through illicit means and are displaying them in their homes. Yeah, the black market collectors. And the heist was basically, they're going to be wealthy, so they can be big mansions, so you can still have all those rooms with all the different security measures that they have to try and counteract and plan for and everything like that. If they'd done it as from rich people or corporations, I don't think people would have had a problem with it. You have the African futurists that are reclaiming their heritage relics from rich businessmen or rich corporations that obtain these through black market illicit means, and they're trying to reclaim their heritage back from them. I think that would have worked far better than stealing them from museums. Because they're painting museums whose entire purpose is to preserve history and educate people on history. You're basically it makes it seem like you're trying to prevent people from learning about African history, which is not what you want to do to champion your African heroes. We don't want you learning about our history, so we're going to steal the artifacts from a place of education and preservation. If they'd simply made that one change, taken museums out of the equation entirely, and said it was just like rich corporations or corrupt, businessmen, and you're stealing from them, people would have been fine with that. I think you're gonna naturally have some people that hate, but I think if they'd gone that route, people would have been absolutely fine with it. If you kept museums out of it, if you stopped the colonizer bullshit, people would have been like, okay, interesting idea. You're basically stealing from rich corporations, which everybody hates already. People would have been like, I can be on board with this. Because they'd had to throw in the racism, they fucked themselves. And even, regardless of social climate, by using the museums, they basically set themselves up for failure. That was a huge mistake during the development process of this game, and that is on the devs. Flat out, that is on the developers. And that's probably what's going to tank the game, unfortunately.